What if I told you there's a simple way to map out the entire fretboard? That's what the CAGED system does. Let's dive right into it. So far in this lesson series, we've covered the C, the A, the G, the E shape for the CAGED system for major chords. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the D shape and the connecting scales and arpeggios. Let's dive right into it. So the D shape looks a little something like this. It's probably the least used out of the lot, but it's still worth knowing so you understand the CAGED system. It originates from the open D chord like this. And all we're doing is making it movable like this. D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, so on and so forth. Let me write this out on the fretboard. So it's a movable shape. Let's put in, we don't play the low E and A string. So there's the shape in the key of, let's do this in the key of A today. So we've got our root note on the D string here. So this is the note. I'm looking for an A. And there is our A major chord, D shape. And what I would do is on the 7th fret, bar all the way down from the D string to the high E. And then we're going to put our second finger on the 9th fret of the G string. Then underneath that, we want to put our third finger on the 9th fret of the E string, high E, and then pinky on the 10th fret of the B string. And that's how I would finger this shape. Now, the previous shape, the E shape, had shape 1 of the major pentatonic. That means this one must coincide with shape number 2. First of all, let's do our skeleton shape. Here it is. And around this, we've got shape 2 of the major pentatonic, which looks a little something like this. You may be familiar with this already. So as always, you want to practice from the root. So far, we have done all of these shapes where they have the root either on the E or A string. This is why I say it's important to learn all your notes on the D string as well, because then you can move this shape around. But of course, we're in the key of A, so we've got our roots here. And what we're going to do is we're going to send up the shape. This is a pentatonic shape, so 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the pattern starts again, and then we're going to send back down. So you play the chord like this and then play the pentatonic shape. So you want to descend all the way back down to that major second on the low E string and then come back up to the root. And there is our major pentatonic connected to this shape. Let's move on swiftly to the next shape. So once again, if you followed the last couple of videos, we'll go a little quicker through these because you should get the gist of it. If we now build the major pentatonic again to create our major blues scale, all we're doing is adding one note, the minor third, which is found in between the major second and major third. So we've got one there, and we can put another one here. And that creates a 6-note scale, a hexatonic scale. So we've got root, 2, 3, major third, so minor and major third in there, 5th and 6th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So first of all, we play the chord. And then we play our scale from that root note on the D string. This is probably the one shape I'm least familiar with just because of the positioning of this shape. It's not realistic, you'll often play it, maybe for embellishments, because it's quite a nice high pitch sounding voiced chord. But it's still part of the C shape you're coming back to actually. So you see here, we've got the D shape. You'll notice here, that's connecting to the C shape. So they're very similar sounding as well. But anyway, right, back to this. So we've got our major pentatonic and our major blues scale around the D shape. And as always, we could just keep our our pentatonic scale there just for reference. So here we go, let's build that again. There is our shape 2 of the major pentatonic, and around this we want to build our heptatonic 7-note major scale. So we're missing that major, the perfect 4th, so that's after the 3rd. Where's the other one? There's one there, and then there's one there, and we're missing the major 7th, always behind that root note. And there we go, we've got the full scale. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there we have the major scale. So let's now play that along with our chord. So play your chord, and then let's practice the scale along with it. And then you want to always return to that root note on the D string. So there's our major scale. Now finally we're up to our arpeggio. Let's put this in here. So here is our skeleton of the chord. And as I always say, we need to find a root, 3 and a 5 in order to create an arpeggio, a true arpeggio. So we've got 2 options again, as we always have. So we could put the 3rd here, or we could put the 3rd here, and we can put another 5th below the root there, and then another 3rd there if we want. So the first way I would play this, once again, I don't really often use this, so it's not going to be played pretty well, but we could play the arpeggio like this. So I'm doing a downstroke and hammer on, down, 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 up, 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 pull off, up, up, down, down, back to the root. Or you could go and put the 3rd behind it. You'd have to change your fingering slightly, where you get an arpeggio like this. Where that one's a bit more tricky, but it's up to you. Maybe practice both just to get used to some new fingerings. But that's the arpeggio. So you play your chord and then play your decided fingering. You can either do alternate picking or the suggested sweep picking way that I showed you with downstrokes and upstrokes. So first play the chord and then arpeggio. Let's do alternate picking this time. There we go, there's our arpeggio. Now let me write this all out on the fretboard, which I've forgotten to do. So we're doing this in the key of A. There is our shape, our D shape, and then around this we have our shape 2 of the major pentatonic. So there we go. And then we added in that flat 3 here. We've got one there, one there. Let me alter something quickly because it might change. There we go. And then we added in the major scale. So around this shape we want to find our perfect 4th, which is always after the major 3rd. So you got one there. Oh no, that flat 7's changed. Why has that done that? Let's put that back to a major 6th. So we've got perfect 4th there, perfect 4th there. We've got one there, and then we've got 2 of our major 7s. So there we've got all of our scale options there. Then we add in that major 3rd if we're doing the arpeggio going up like this. But once again, practice this to a metronome, do it at a slow tempo, play the chord, then go for the pentatonic scale, back to a chord, then play the major blues scale, then back to the chord, and then the major scale, then the arpeggio. That's a great way to practice. Grab a backing track in different keys and move this shape around. Write some licks using the different scales, and also mix and match, go between playing an arpeggio and then a lick and things, and eventually you'll have all these kind of licks in certain positions that you can use and grab at any time. And of course they work in any key because these shapes are movable. But that's it for this lesson. As always, if you'd like to get this PDF of this diagram, it's on my Guitar Practice Academy. I've got 50% off at the moment, so you can sign up for the year, and it just costs the price of 2 private lessons, but you've got a year's worth of material to practice with. There's hundreds of lessons, masterclasses, tabs, backing tracks, you name it. I appreciate all the support. But anyway, that is it for this lesson. That completes the CAGED system for major chords. Your next step is to go and connect them. So you've got the C shape, going to the A shape, going to the G shape, to the E and the D. I go into greater detail in my Guitar Practice Academy about how these all connect, but that is the 5 CAGED shapes and how you use them to play scales, chords and arpeggios together in one position. It's a bit of a game changer once you understand it, because that opens up the whole fretboard. And if you can connect these 5 shapes and combine the CAGED system with other systems like 3-note per string ideas, diagonal pentatonics, all these other systems, you're going to be flying on the guitar. Make sure you don't just stick to one system. Try different things. You'll hear some players say, nah, the 3-note per string system's better. No, you want to do diagonal things. None of them are the best. Each of these different concepts have their negatives and their positives. It's best to learn them all and go between the different concepts. There's nothing stopping you using all the concepts that are out there. Essentially, all we're doing, we're all playing the same notes. We're just finding ways to visualize them so it can make sense, because it's a bit mind-blowing looking at this guitar neck and trying to decipher what's going on. Whereas the CAGED system, the 3-note per string system, and diagonal ideas, and maybe the interval kind of concept that some players use, they're all very important and useful. So don't disregard any of them. Try and learn them all and see what works for you. Personally, I use all the different concepts that are available. I love the 3-note per string stuff for my legato. I like my CAGED stuff for my melodies. I like having diagonal ideas to connect to my CAGED shapes and pentatonic ideas. It all kind of mushes into one. But anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you for another lesson very soon. Oh, let me know in the comments what you'd like me to look at next in my lessons.